What if the loudest person in the room was not the most powerful, but the most fragile? What if true strength was not found in the force of your reaction, but in the depth of your calm? The world shouts, but mastery whispers. Calm is not a weakness, it is your greatest superpower. Calm is your greatest superpower. Compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Recognize triggers before they control. Imagine an old, wise forest ranger walking through a vast, dry forest during a heat wave. He is not merely enjoying the scenery. His senses are heightened, his mind is alert. He is a student of the subtle language of risk. He notices a patch of unusually dry grass, he feels a shift in the wind, he smells the faint scent of pine resin baking in the sun. To the casual hiker, these are meaningless details. To the ranger, they are the precursors to a wildfire. He knows that by recognizing these small, early warning signs, these triggers, he can prevent a catastrophic blaze before the first spark is even struck. His awareness is his greatest tool. That forest is your mind, and your emotional triggers are those patches of dry grass. This brings us to a core inner conflict that robs us of our peace. We are often shocked and mystified by our own emotional outbursts. A sudden flash of intense anger, a wave of debilitating anxiety, they seem to erupt out of nowhere, hijacking our rational minds and leaving a trail of regret in their wake. The problem statement is this. We feel like victims of our own emotions because we are living like careless hikers in our own forest. We are completely unaware of our own inner conditions. We don't notice the growing patch of resentment, the dry tinder of fatigue, or the hot wind of a lingering insecurity. And so when a small spark of provocation flies our way, we are genuinely surprised when our inner world erupts into a raging wildfire. The transformative solution is to become the wise forest ranger of your own mind. You must learn to recognize your personal triggers before they have a chance to ignite and take control. The core idea is that emotional wildfires are not random events. They are predictable outcomes of specific inner conditions. By cultivating a state of vigilant self-awareness, you can spot the dangerous conditions long before the fire starts. This early recognition gives you the power to intervene, to wet down the dry grass, to choose a different path, and to maintain your inner peace. You move from being a victim of the fire to being its wise and proactive warden. This is the Stoic practice of prosoche, or attentive mindfulness, in its most practical form. The Stoics trained themselves to be sentinels of their own souls, constantly and calmly observing the impressions and nascent feelings that arose within them. They knew that an unobserved mind is a dangerous and flammable place, while a mind under careful observation is a well-managed and resilient forest. To begin this practice, you must become a trigger spotter. For the next week, your task is not to prevent your emotional reactions, but to become a master student of them. You will conduct a wildfire autopsy. The next time you have a significant overreaction, after the emotional fire has died down, you will take out a journal. First, you will describe the fire itself, the angry outburst, the anxious spiral. Then you will become a detective and search for the trigger. You will ask yourself, what was the very first spark? What was the thought or event that started it all? But you will go deeper. And what was the dry tinder that the spark landed on? Was I tired? Was I hungry? Was I feeling insecure about something else entirely? You are looking for the underlying conditions that made you flammable. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will begin to see the predictability of your own emotional patterns. The wildfires will no longer seem like mysterious ambushes. You will see them coming from miles away. You will learn to recognize your personal high-risk conditions. When I am sleep-deprived, my anger trigger is much more sensitive. This awareness is the first and most crucial step in gaining mastery over your reactions. You are no longer the careless hiker. You are becoming the wise forest ranger, and your inner world is becoming a safer place. Recognizing the signs of the fire is the first step. But what do we do in that critical moment when the spark has just landed and the first flames begin to lick at the dry grass? In our next lesson, we will learn how to breathe space into heated moments. If you are ready to become the ranger of your own mind, declare it in the comments below. I will watch the forest. Your commitment to this practice helps our entire community prevent its own fires. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel, like this video, and share your own insights to help us all grow. Lesson 2. Breathe space into heated moments. Imagine a blacksmith's forge. At its heart is a bed of burning coals, glowing with intense, powerful heat. This is the heat of a rising emotion, like anger or frustration. If the fire is left in a contained, airless space, it will smolder and die out, or worse, it could explode from the pressure. To make the fire useful, the blacksmith uses a set of bellows. With a slow, deliberate pump, he blows air into the heart of the fire. The air does not extinguish the flames. Instead, it creates space between the coals, allowing the fire to breathe. This controlled breath transforms the chaotic, smoldering heat into a clean, white-hot, and focused fire that can be used to shape steel. That controlled breath is your own. This brings us to a powerful inner conflict. When we find ourselves in a heated moment, when we feel the first flames of anger or anxiety, our instinctive reaction is to tense up. We hold our breath, we clench our jaw, we tighten our muscles. We are trying to contain the fire by compressing it. The problem statement is this: physical tension and lack of breath is like trying to smother a grease fire. It only makes the situation more volatile and explosive. By cutting off the air of conscious awareness, we ensure that the smoldering emotion will eventually burst forth in an uncontrolled, destructive overreaction. We are creating the very explosion we are trying to prevent. The transformative solution, the second rule of calm, is to learn how to deliberately breathe space into heated moments. You must become the master blacksmith of your own inner fire. The core idea is that your breath is the bellows of your mind. A slow, deliberate, conscious breath is a physical act that creates a corresponding psychological space. It interrupts the panicked, fight-or-flight reaction of your nervous system and signals to your brain that you are in control. It does not eliminate the heat of the emotion, but it transforms it from a chaotic, smoldering danger into a focused and manageable energy. You are using your breath to take command of your own inner fire. This wisdom is deeply rooted in both ancient Stoic practice and modern neuroscience. The Stoics understood the intimate connection between the body and the mind. They knew that a calm body helps to create a calm mind. Today, we know that slow, diaphragmatic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural rest and digest system, which is the direct antidote to the adrenaline surge of the fight or flight response. This is an ancient art backed by modern science. To begin this practice, you must train your first breath response. For the next week, your mission is to become acutely aware of the physical sensations of being triggered. The moment you feel that tightening in your chest, that heat in your face, that clenching in your gut, before you say or do anything else, you will execute this one simple action. You will take a single, slow box breath. This means you will inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, exhale slowly for a count of 4, and hold the exhale for a count of 4. This one cycle takes only 16 seconds. But in those 16 seconds, a miracle of self-mastery occurs. You have created a sacred pause. You have introduced space into the reaction. You have used the bellows. Your only goal for the week is to successfully install this first breath response. Don't worry about what comes after the breath yet. Just focus on mastering the art of creating that first pocket of space. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will have a reliable physical tool to short-circuit your own reactive patterns. You will discover that you can feel the heat of an emotion without being consumed by it. This single, controlled breath will become the drawbridge to your inner citadel, a simple action that gives you the time and the physiological calm needed to choose a wise response over a foolish reaction. You are becoming the blacksmith, able to handle any heat because you are the master of the bellows. Breathing space into heated moments gives us a foothold of calm. But what do we do when the entire world around us seems to be a raging storm? In our next lesson, we will learn the art of detaching from external chaos. If you are ready to master your breath and your fire, declare it in the comments below. I am the master of the bellows. Your commitment to this practice helps our entire community breathe easier. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to continue your training. Lesson 3. Detach from external chaos. Let us return to the image of the hurricane, a great swirling vortex of chaos and destruction. As we know, at its very center lies the I, a place of perfect calm. The wise person learns to find and inhabit this inner I. But what does this mean in practice? It means mastering the art of detachment. Imagine you are standing safely within the calm eye of the hurricane. You can look out at the storm wall. You can see the debris flying. You can hear the wind roaring. You can witness the chaos of the storm. You are aware of it. You do not deny its existence. But you are not in it. You are not being torn apart by it. You are detached from it. And this detachment is the source of your safety and your clarity. This is the state of mind we must cultivate. This brings us to a deep and challenging inner conflict. We are constantly surrounded by external chaos, a toxic work environment, a dramatic family conflict, the endless outrage cycle of the news and social media. The problem statement is this: we believe that to be engaged with the world, we must be emotionally entangled in its chaos. We think detachment is a form of apathy or coldness. So we allow ourselves to be pulled out of our calm center and into the storm walls. We get swept up in the office drama. We get consumed by the family argument. We let the anger of the news cycle become our own anger. We feel perpetually stressed and exhausted because we are constantly trying to fight a hurricane from within the hurricane itself. The transformative solution is to practice Stoic detachment. This is not about ceasing to care. It is about learning to care from a position of strength from the calm eye of the storm. The core idea is that you can be aware of and even engaged with the world's chaos without letting that chaos become your own inner state. Detachment is the discipline of maintaining your inner boundary, of recognizing what is yours, your own thoughts and responses, and what is not yours, the actions, opinions, and emotions of others. This separation is the key to maintaining your own peace and effectiveness in a turbulent world. The Stoics were masters of this. They lived in a world of immense political turmoil, plagues, and wars. Their secret to survival and virtue was to practice a relentless detachment from the things they could not control. They would observe the chaos of the world with a clear and analytical mind, but they would fiercely guard the tranquility of their inner citadel. This allowed them to act with courage and wisdom, rather than being driven by the fear and passion that consumed those around them. To begin this practice, you must learn to be the calm observer. For the next week, your task is to practice observing the world's chaos without inviting it into your home. You will perform a chaos audit. Identify one primary source of external chaos in your life. It might be a particular person's constant drama, or a specific news source that always makes you angry. For 1 week, you will not try to change this external source. You will simply change your relationship to it. When you encounter it, you will take on the persona of a detached sociologist or a journalist. Your goal is not to get involved, but to simply observe and say to yourself, "How interesting. Look at that storm. Look at how the wind is blowing. Look at the patterns of the chaos." You are consciously refusing to be pulled out of your own calm eye. You are watching the hurricane from your safe and stable center. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will begin to feel a liberating sense of freedom. The external chaos of the world will lose its power to dictate your inner state. You will find that you can be informed without being inflamed, engaged without being entangled. This detachment will give you an incredible clarity and poise, making you a source of stability for others who are still lost in the storm. You are learning that your greatest power is not in stopping the storm, but in refusing to become it. Detachment from external chaos keeps our inner peace secure. But this peace can still be threatened by our own need for the approval of others. In our next lesson, we will learn how to respond without needing validation. If you are ready to become the calm eye of the storm, declare it in the comments below. I am the calm center. Your commitment to this practice helps our entire community find its own eye. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to continue this journey. Lesson 4. Respond without needing validation. Imagine the North Star, a fixed, brilliant point of light in the night sky. For centuries, sailors have used it to navigate the vast, dark oceans. The North Star does not care if the sailors praise it. It does not grow dimmer if they curse it or ignore it. It does not change its position to be more popular with a certain fleet of ships. Its value is not derived from the opinions of the sailors. Its value is inherent in its own constancy and its unwavering relationship with true north. Its power is in its independence. Your inner self, your core principles, must become your North Star. This brings us to a subtle but powerful inner conflict that undermines our calm. We have learned to detach from chaos, but we are still attached to the opinions of others. We want to be liked, to be approved of, to be validated. The problem statement is this: this need for validation makes our responses inauthentic and weak. Instead of responding to a situation from a place of our own clear principles, we find ourselves crafting a response designed to please the other person, to win their approval, or to avoid their disapproval. We are the sailor who is constantly adjusting his course based on the shifting desires of his passengers, rather than on the fixed, reliable light of the North Star. This makes us lose our way, and it makes others lose respect for us, because a person who does not stand for something is not a person to be trusted. The transformative solution is to learn to respond without needing validation. You must become your own North Star. The core idea is that you must anchor your actions and your words in your own core values and rational judgment, and then detach yourself completely from the outcome, that is, from whether other people approve of your response or not. This is a profound act of self-trust. It is the declaration that you are the ultimate authority in your own life. When your response is aligned with your inner North Star, you can deliver it with a calm confidence that is incredibly powerful, because it is not seeking anything in return. This is the Stoic ideal of a life lived with integrity. The Stoics taught that the only measure of a good action is whether it is virtuous, not whether it is popular. They trained themselves to act for the sake of their own character, not for the sake of applause. This freed them to do what they believed was right, even when it was difficult or unpopular. It gave them an unshakable core of self-respect that could not be touched by the opinions of the crowd. To begin this practice, you must learn to navigate by your own light. For the next week, you will practice the North Star check. Before you make any significant response in a conversation or an email, after you have paused, you will ask yourself one simple question. Is this response coming from a place of my own core principles, or from a place of needing this person's approval? Be brutally honest with yourself. If you find that you are crafting your response to please or to avoid disapproval, you must stop. You will then take a moment to reconnect with your own North Star, your deepest values of honesty, integrity, or courage, and you will rewrite your response so that it is a true reflection of those values, regardless of how the other person might receive it. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will begin to feel a deep sense of authenticity and personal power. The anxious, needy energy of validation seeking will begin to fade, replaced by the calm, solid confidence of a person who trusts their own compass. Your responses will become clearer, more consistent, and more respected, because they will be coming from a place of unshakable integrity. You are no longer the lost sailor, dependent on the changing lights of other ships. You are becoming the North Star, a fixed and reliable source of light in a dark world. Responding without needing validation requires us to be firmly anchored in our own being. But what does that anchor consist of? In our next lesson, we will learn how to anchor ourselves in the unshakable ground of present reality. If you are ready to navigate by your own light, declare it in the comments below. I am my own North Star. Your commitment to this principle helps our entire community find its true direction. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to continue your journey. Lesson 5. Anchor yourself in present reality. Imagine a magnificent, ancient oak tree standing firm on a hillside. A powerful wind begins to blow, The wind of the past whispers regrets and old grievances, trying to pull the tree's attention backward. The wind of the future blows gusts of anxiety and what-if scenarios, trying to pull the tree's attention forward. The tree could easily be swayed, its energy scattered by these two powerful winds. But the oak tree's strength is not in its branches, which sway and dance. Its strength is in its roots, which are anchored deep in the solid, unmoving ground of the present moment. The roots are not in the past or the future, they are here, now. This deep anchoring in present reality is what allows the tree to withstand any wind. This illustrates a critical inner conflict that destroys our calm. We are rarely living in the present moment. The problem statement is this: our minds are almost always time traveling, either dwelling in the unchangeable past or worrying about an imaginary future. In a moment of conflict, this is a fatal flaw. We are not responding to the person in front of us. We are reacting to the ghosts of every person who has wronged us in the past. Or we are not addressing the current problem. We are reacting to a catastrophic future that we have invented in our own minds. This mental time travel makes us completely ungrounded, and an ungrounded person is easily toppled by the slightest push. The transformative solution is to learn to anchor yourself in the solid ground of present reality. You must become the oak tree. The core idea is that the past and future are illusions. The only reality, the only place where you have any power, is in the present moment. By training your mind to return again and again to the now, you are sinking your roots into the only ground that can ever truly support you. This practice of anchoring in the present is the ultimate antidote to the anxiety and regret that fuel most of our overreactions. A mind that is fully present is a mind that is calm, clear, and powerful. The Stoics understood this profoundly. They taught that we should treat the past as a lesson to be learned from, and the future as a possibility to be planned for, but that we should live our lives entirely in the present. They knew that all our emotional suffering comes from resisting what is in favor of what was or what might be. By anchoring in the present, you are making peace with reality, which is the source of all tranquility. To begin this practice, you must become a master of the now. For the next week, you will practice a technique called sensory anchoring. Whenever you find your mind being pulled into the past or the future, especially during a moment of tension, you will deliberately and forcefully anchor it in the present by focusing on your senses. You will silently ask yourself 3 questions. First, what are 3 things I can see right now? Name them in your mind. The blue pen, the wood grain on the desk, the light reflecting off my watch. Second, what are 2 things I can hear right now? The hum of the computer, the distant sound of traffic. Third, what is 1 thing I can feel right now? The pressure of my feet on the floor. This simple exercise, which takes about 10 seconds, acts as an emergency brake for your time-traveling mind. It pulls your awareness out of the imaginary worlds of past and future and slams it back into the solid, your undeniable reality of the present moment. The profound benefit of this practice is that it will dramatically reduce your levels of anxiety and regret. You will find that it is almost impossible to be anxious when your mind is fully anchored in the sensory experience of the now. This will give you a powerful tool to stay grounded and calm during even the most challenging interactions. You are no longer the windswept sapling. You are the deep-rooted oak, unshakable and firmly planted in the solid ground of the present. Anchoring in the present gives us a stable platform. From this platform, we can now learn to take the powerful energy of our emotions and use it for a higher purpose. In our next lesson, we will learn how to turn emotion into focused power. If you are ready to anchor yourself in the now, declare it in the comments below. My power is in the present. Your commitment to this practice helps our entire community find its footing. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 6. Turn emotion into focused power. Imagine a massive hydroelectric dam built across a powerful river. The river represents the raw, powerful current of an emotion like anger or frustration. A foolish engineer might see this powerful river as a threat, something to be blocked and suppressed completely. But this is a waste of immense energy. The wise engineer, however, builds a dam. The dam does not destroy the river, it channels it. It takes the vast, chaotic force of the water and directs it through a narrow turbine, transforming the river's raw power into a focused, controlled, and incredibly useful energy that can light up an entire city. The dam is your rational mind. The electricity is your focused power. This brings us to a critical inner conflict. We experience powerful emotions as negative, destructive forces that we must either be swept away by or suppress entirely. The problem statement is this: by either suppressing our emotions or letting them run wild, we are wasting one of the greatest sources of power we possess. Suppressed emotion becomes a stagnant, toxic reservoir. Uncontrolled emotion becomes a destructive, chaotic flood. Both are a tragic waste of pure energy. We are the land that is either a desert or a swamp, never the thriving city powered by the river. The transformative solution is to become the wise engineer of your own emotional currents. You must learn to build a dam of reason to channel your emotional energy into focused, productive power. The core idea is that emotion is energy. It is a powerful, motivating force. Anger is the energy to fight injustice. Frustration is the energy to solve a difficult problem. Even sadness is the energy of acknowledging what is truly valuable. Your task is not to eliminate this energy, but to harness it. You must take the raw, chaotic power of an emotional river and direct it through the turbine of a chosen, purposeful action. The Stoics were not emotionless. They were emotional alchemists. They understood that the passions were a source of immense power. Their goal was to ensure that this power was always directed by reason towards the target of virtue. They would take the energy of their anger and use it to fuel their courage to speak truth to power. They would take the energy of their grief and use it to deepen their appreciation for life. They never wasted a drop of the river's power. To begin this practice, you must build your own emotional turbine. For the next week, whenever you feel a strong, difficult emotion begin to rise, you will not suppress it. You will perform a two-step energy conversion. Step 1 is to acknowledge the river. You will say to yourself, I am feeling a massive amount of energetic anger right now. This is a powerful river. Step 2 is to immediately ask the engineer's question. What is the single most constructive task I can channel this energy into right now? You must give the river a job. You must point it at a turbine. For example, if you are feeling angry about a political injustice, you will not waste that energy on a social media rant, a chaotic flood. You will channel it into the turbine of writing a well-researched letter to your representative or volunteering for a cause. If you are feeling frustrated by a setback at work, you will channel that energy into 2 hours of deep, focused work to solve the problem. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will turn your most difficult emotions into your greatest assets. You will find that you have a nearly limitless source of energy for productive, purposeful action. You will become a person who is not just calm, but also incredibly effective and powerful, because you are no longer a victim of your emotional river. You are the master engineer who is using it to light up the world. We have learned to harness our power. Now for our final lesson, we must learn to protect the source of that power, our inner calm, as if it were the most sacred thing we possess. If you are ready to become the master engineer, declare it in the comments below. My emotion is my fuel. Your commitment to this practice gives power to our entire community. Please remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 7. Guard calm like sacred ground. Imagine a small, beautiful temple situated on a high mountain peak. Inside this temple is a serene, silent, and sacred space. This is the source of the mountain's wisdom and power. The keeper of this temple has one primary and all-important duty: to guard this sacred ground. He must protect its tranquility from being desecrated by the noise, the chaos, and the demands of the outside world. He understands that if the peace of this inner sanctuary is compromised, then all the power and wisdom of the mountain will be lost. Guarding this calm is his highest and most solemn duty. This sacred ground is your own inner peace. You are its keeper. This is the final lesson, and it highlights our last inner conflict. We have done all this difficult work to cultivate a core of inner calm, but we can still be careless with it. The problem statement is this: we treat our inner peace as a renewable resource that we can afford to lose and then regain later. We allow a petty argument to disturb it. We allow a frustrating traffic jam to steal it. We allow the negativity of the news to desecrate it. We are the careless keeper who leaves the temple doors wide open, allowing the sanctuary to be trampled by the muddy boots of daily trivialities. We forget that our inner calm is the most precious and sacred ground we possess. The transformative solution is to make a solemn vow to guard your calm as if it were sacred ground. This is the final and most important rule of a Stoic life. The core idea is that your inner peace is the source of all your other superpowers: your focus, your resilience, your clarity, your wisdom. Therefore, protecting it is your primary job. You must begin to see any person or situation that threatens your inner calm, not just as an annoyance, but as a potential desecration of your sacred space. This mindset will give you a new and powerful resolve to protect your tranquility at all costs. The Stoic sage held his own inner peace, his apatheia, as the highest good. He understood that if he could maintain this state, he could handle anything the world threw at him. He would not trade his tranquility for a petty victory in an argument, for the approval of a fool, or for any external possession. He was the vigilant keeper of his own temple, and he never, ever left the gates unguarded. To begin this practice of sacred guardianship, you must create a sanctuary protocol. For the next week, your new mantra will be, "Is this worth my peace?" Before you engage in any argument, before you consume any piece of media, before you allow yourself to ruminate on any grievance, you will stop and ask this question: is winning this pointless argument worth sacrificing my inner calm? Is the temporary jolt of outrage from this news story worth desecrating my inner temple? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be a resounding no. When the answer is no, your duty is to disengage. You will walk away from the argument. You will turn off the news. You will redirect your thoughts. You are the keeper of the temple, calmly and firmly turning away a noisy, muddy traveler at the gate. The profound benefit of this practice is that you will achieve a level of stable, enduring peace that you may have never thought possible. You will find that you have a new and fierce love for your own tranquility, and you will become ruthless in protecting it from the trivialities of the world. Your mind will become a sacred ground, a place of profound power, wisdom, and unshakable calm. You are no longer just a visitor to your own inner peace. You are its eternal and vigilant guardian. From recognizing your triggers to guarding your calm like sacred ground, you now possess the keys to a life free from overreaction. You have learned that your calm is your superpower, the source of all your strength, clarity, and presence. This is the path of the Stoic, the path of the unshakable mind. Thank you for your dedication to this profound journey of self-mastery. Your commitment to cultivating your own calm is a powerful gift to a noisy world. If this video has empowered you, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to continue your training in the art of living wisely.